Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com. You may not have heard from me for the last few days, and I've had a lot of disruptions in my home. But this is the chart for the new moon last week on the Thursday, the 19th of March. Now, it occurred at 1:23 in the morning, so the only planet above the horizon is Jupiter. The beautiful, beautiful Jupiter in its exaltation sign right now of Cancer. And Jupiter has just moved forward. Now, the new moon chart, here it is. Some very positive things going on right now, as you might not wonder why. Life is not so easy. But Pluto is actually in a very good connection to Uranus. And likewise with the Sun and Moon, here it is, and there's Neptune, Saturn, Venus, Chiron. There's a lot of energy in Pisces, in Aries, two signs in the zodiac that are side by side. Where does this occur in your chart? That's my question to you. New moons are always new beginnings, always time to set goals, go ahead, apart from the actual time of the new moon. The reason being, the moon represents the public, and it's invisible. You can't see it, and literally you can't see it at all with this chart below the horizon. After a few hours, of course, things change. So I will now show you the next chart, which is really important as well. The spring equinox. Everything seems to be happening at once. We have a new moon, and then we have Mercury going direct, and we have a spring equinox, all within a couple of days. That's not an easy energy, and I know in my home life, I have literally been without power as, well, I won't go into the details. But here we have the spring equinox, a really important chart. It sets the theme for the next 3 months. What is really noticeable, in my opinion, Chiron, Moon, Venus, all here in Aries. Chiron is the archetype of the wounded healer. It's where we are wounded, but where we have come to heal. Age 50, approximately, is when it's back where it was at our birth. And that is a very significant time. As an astrologer, I remember knowing about this, looking forward to being 50. That was quite a while back, if you know me. But anyhow, here we have the spring equinox chart. Sun, there it is, 0 degrees. That's the whole point of it. It starts the whole cycle of the year. However, it's next to Neptune and Saturn. They are now also in Aries. What that means is we are looking at Mars. What is Mars doing? Because it rules the sign of Aries. We look and we see Mars. Here it is in Pisces. That is not a good position for Mars. Mars will much prefer it when it moves into Aries. That's its own sign. And Mars takes 2 years to go around the chart, so it doesn't happen every year. It's really important. There's Mercury in this chart. That little S, that means it's stationing. So it went forward at the spring equinox day, Friday, and it went forward at 1933. Now, I don't know about you, but I've had a huge numbers of problems with Mercury retrograde in Pisces, especially with things such as the Zoom, for some reason not working, being confused. I mean, it's not an easy time for Mercury retrograde. And it's tied up closely with Mars. Frustrations, difficulties, why have you come into the room and I don't know why? Why am I looking at my cooker and I think I've forgotten completely how to work it? This is a Mercury retrograde phase and we're still in the energy of it. I want you to focus very much right now on Chiron. There's the moon at the spring equinox, very close to Chiron. Venus is joining up with Chiron this Thursday. I'm giving a webinar, a masterclass, which I have completely redone and edited it right down to 38 minutes. Chiron is a really important archetype for each and every one of us to look at in our birth charts. As I mentioned, it takes 50 years to go around the chart, and it's known as an awakener. Also, Uranus is known as an awakener. However, Uranus takes 84 years to go around the chart. It is known very classically midlife crisis planet. So a Chiron energy. All planets are now moving to accent Chiron. Of course, Venus gets there first. She's ahead of the crowd, so to speak. She's an evening star. Look out for her. Please look to the west as the sun, of course, has set. And higher in the sky, Venus appears. This chart shows you that Venus was with the moon at the spring equinox. But however, it's only just above the horizon. You might not see it. But what I want you to notice, of course, the sun is in Aries. So it takes approximately 25 days. It takes 1 day, 1 degree. So on 25 days' time, we will have that conjunction of the sun with Chiron. That only happens 1 day, roughly, 1 day a year. That's an important time. Mars will also activate Chiron, only every 2 years. This is about the key. Chiron is the key. It's the doorway between the two worlds of Saturn, the old, and Neptune, the new. That's an important understanding. So I encourage you, albeit this is late in the day, to sign up for my Chiron webinar I'm giving this Thursday at 7:30. However, you can always get special offer. You can get the recording, and I'm including 2 fabulous, I mean it, fabulous personal astrology reports about Chiron. One by the renowned expert called Zane Stein. Now, you might have that already from me, but do you have the health and well-being? That also gives a lot more information about exactly that. The elements in your chart, for instance. And with this special offer, if you pay a little bit more, you get a whole hour with me going through that trauma, which it would have been a trauma when Chiron made its first square in your chart. It might have been, well, I would presume a long time ago for you, but the wound, remember, the healing is in the wound. And as a healer, practiced in wonderful techniques to support you, I encourage you, please sign up. I'd love to meet you for that special offer. Thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers, HealingStars.com.